Warm greeting from Chatangulam. So we are continuing the session for KMAT 2020. Okay, so as we are learning what is English and how does and what are the proportions of questions from asked from the part of English. So we has been discussed about different aspects. So today we are going to discuss about direct and indirect speech. Okay, and we saw that while analyzing the question paper, it's around 5 to 10 questions will be asked from these two portions. One is direct speech and another one is indirect speech. Okay, so while we are talking about the conversion of a speech into direct or indirect, you want to understand the basic concept about what will happen while we are pronouncing something about in the past, present and past continuous. Okay, and what are the areas that we are coming under all these aspects, and what are the grammatical change will be added while the tense being changed. Okay, so that's what we are going to discuss today, the sentence correction as direct or indirect speech. So let us look what are the 7 rules as parting to the direct or indirect speech. So we will look in detail what is direct speech and how does it will affect in the indirect speech. Okay, so in direct speech, we can definitely know that it is talking about the present continuation. One person is saying something as present, that is what the direct speech. Okay, I am putting something like I ate today, or I eat today, or I will eat today or tomorrow. So that kind of tense will be added with the grammatical part. Okay, so that is what we are going to discuss today. So first rule is about the present indefinite. Present indefinite. Okay, present indefinite means that there is now a clause being added as prefix or suffix. We are just saying that a statement that it is. Okay, and as the right as a present indefinite statement, right. Okay, how it will come into in the speech of indirect speech. Okay, it will turn into past indefinite. Okay, wrote. So that normally we know that what is the connections were like what is the present situation and the past tense. So everything that we being in the present tense that we were changing into the past tense, that is what indirect speech. Normally they will ask you to make it indirect speech. Okay, by asking you the question in inverted comma. Okay, so you want to change that single term or single sentence into in an indirect speech or a reporting speech. Okay, we will definitely look into some examples for the same. So as basic concept about the rules of this direct or indirect speech, you want to know that there are direct as present terms, and that we have to convert it into the indirect, which means to the past. Okay, so that is what present indefinite, that will be changed into past indefinite. That is something that I will wrote. Okay, it is a future tense. Okay, so future tense in it is something, and that event is going to happen only. So it will write will be changed into wrote. Come to the second rule, that is present continuous. Present continuous means something is happening as happening. Okay, normally we will do added with the ing as continuous in tense. So present continuous in the direct speech will be reporting, or in the indirect speech it will be changed into past continuous. For example, the present continuous is writing. Then what will be the past continuous? Was writing. It's a continuous tense. Okay, so is writing will be changed into was writing. Okay, next one is the present perfect. Present perfect in the sense what is the current status of that particular thing. For example, have writing. Okay, has, right. Well, past perfect, it will be changed into had write, or had wrote also you can write. Okay, or had written. That is something has already happened. Okay, normally we will term it as had. Okay, and then come to the fourth one. See, present perfect, it is has been writing as a continuous tense, and then we will term it as past perfect continuous. It will change into had been written. Okay, or written. Okay, and fifth one is about past indefinite. Past indefinite, it is not like a concluded one, so it will be as wrote. past indefinite. That means it may happen or it may not happen. That's why we will not wrote, okay, as past indefinite. Okay, it will be the same as what will happen in this past indefinite. It will change into past perfect. Had been writing or had written. So in past indefinite it is the wrote, that is past indefinite in the indirect, while we were converting the present indefinite into indirect. So that is what past perfect, and past indefinite, that is wrote, and past perfect is about had written. Okay, and there will be no changes as indirect when they were stating about what is past perfect. Okay, which means past had right. Okay, if you are pronouncing or stating a word as a direct statement as past perfect, there is no indirect speech that we can add it with. Okay, with some examples you will be able to understand in detail, and there is no change will be happen in the indirect speech while there is a past perfect continuous. What will happen in the past perfect continuous while we having a direct speech about present perfect continuous, which means had been, has been writing will be changed to had been written. Okay, so that is what the change will happen in the past perfect. But once word is starting with a past perfect which doesn't have any changes in the indirect. Okay, so these are the basic rules for indirect or direct speech. Okay, make it more clear with how does the changes is being happen as in the indirect or in the reporting terms. Okay, so these are some basics. One example I would like to quote is that he said I write English. Okay, he said I write English. So can you guess what will be the changes that will be going to affect once it is being changed into indirect speech? It will be changed into he said that. In present indefinite, he said I write English. So in the past or in the indirect sense, it will be changed into he said that. Okay, so this will be added. He wrote English. So it will be added as the what is he wrote. Okay, so write is being changed into wrote. So these are the simple example to understand the basic concept. So hope it's clear that how these changes is being taken place while we are dealing with a particular statement. Okay, that's it for this slide. Let's move to the next one. Okay, let us discuss some questions in the previous year. It is as I said, there are 5 questions which is related with indirect speech. So the question is like that: you are required to convert the sentence given in the questions into indirect speech. So they are asking about make you to convert the word into indirect speech. Okay, so the question is saying that he made a promise, inverted comma, I will come if I can. Okay, so that is what the word that is put in the inverted comma, and you want to make it as a reporting term or as an indirect statement. Okay, so the options are: he promised that he would come if he could. Okay, second option, he made a promise that I will come if I can. Okay, third one, he promised that I will come if I could. Okay, fourth one is he made a promise that he would come if he could. You should again look at the question. He made a promise, comma, I will come if I can. Okay, so we know that he making surety about like if he I will come if I can. Okay, so normally we know that we have to be added that into that. Simple, it's simple that he promised that he would come if he could. Okay, that will be the first option will be the answer. Second question is about Kumar said to his friends, I would leave you now. So they were put in the inverted comma that I would leave you now. So you want to change that particular term as including with the statement into indirect speech. Okay, let us see the options. So Kumar said to his friends, I would leave you now. Okay, so how it will be the indirect speech? Kumar told his friends that he would leave them then. One. Next option is Kumar told his friends that he will leave them now. Okay. Third option, Kumar told his friends he would leave them now. Okay. Fourth option, Kumar told his friends he will leave them now. So which one do you think which the most appropriate or the right answer for the question? that while we were converting, the Kumar said to his friends, I would leave you now. So it's simple, like we know that Kumar said, or we are making into indirect speech that Kumar told his friends. Now basically there will be changes, said into told, then that he would leave them then. Next question is, if you don't keep quiet, I shall shoot you. Okay, the complete sentence is in the inverted comma. It's not a simple sentence. If you don't keep quiet, I shall shoot you. Okay, he said to her in a calm voice. So it is like we can imagine what is the situation it is, and while we are pronouncing into an entire speech, what kind of change will be added with that. So the options are, he warned her to shoot if she didn't keep quiet calmly. That is like by the term itself we can know that that is not the right answer, because it's completely not conveying the right meaning. Next option, he said calmly that I shall shoot you if you don't be quiet. That also will not be same, right? Because it is also manipulating the complete meaning of that particular statement. Next one is, he warned her, definitely, okay, he warned her calmly that, he would shoot her if she didn't keep quiet. That is a possible answer. Let us look the last option also. Calmly he warned her that be quiet or else he will have to shoot her. No, it's actually past continuous tense being added to that. So we were talking about how we were changing the direct statement into indirect. So we can easily find out the answer. He warned her calmly that he would shoot her if she didn't keep quiet. Okay, so that is the answer. And next question, fourth question. The boy said, who dare call you a thief? Who dare call you a thief? That is in the inverted comma. So let us look how we can change into indirect term. First option, the boy inquired who dared call him a thief. Definitely there is a chance like that is what the sentence is stating about. So second option, the boy asked who called him a thief. No, right? Because the statement is saying about the boy said. So normally it has to be changed into told or enquired. Okay. So the third option, the boy told that who dared call him a thief. Okay. That is also possibility is there. Let's wait. And final option, the boy warned who dared call a thief. The boy is wondered. It's not actually warned. He was just asking. Okay. So which one only? There are two options that is most closely with the option. First A and C. In that also you have to analyze that which one is rightly conveying the indirect speech. Okay. So possibly, and the right answer will be A. The boy inquired who dared call him a thief, because the boy said who dare call you a thief. Okay, so he is asking someone that who dares call him as thief. So obviously he is inquiring about who have the dare to call him a thief. Okay, so convert that particular meaning by processing by yourself, like what kind of changes is being added to that, whether it conveying the right meaning or not. Okay, once you are really sure about it, just go with the answer. If you are having any doubt of your, like if you are having 50-50% also, you can try. But if you couldn't eliminate at least two options, then please don't attempt the question. That will help you. And the fifth question, the employer said to his employees, okay, it's a plural one, I cannot pay you higher wages. Okay, so that will put in as in the inverted comma, I cannot pay you higher wages, because that's a complete statement. Okay. So let us see what are the changes is being like what we can change it into indirect speech. The employer told his employees, I cannot pay you higher wages. Okay, I cannot pay you higher wages. That is in the same meaning, right? But they were added as said into told. Okay. Next one, while we are analyzing some other and what are the areas that we change it into happening in the said or said into told, and some examples, ask into asked, write into wrote. So that kind of change will be there. So third option, the employer told his employees that he could not pay them higher wages. Okay, the employer told his employees that he could not pay them higher wages. That is what the meaning it's actually converting, right? So when someone else or the third person is saying one statement or direct statement into indirect or in a reporting statement, this will be the change, it will be added to that. So the right option will be the third one. I am repeating, the employer said to his employees, I cannot pay you higher wages. So in the indirect speech, it will become the employer told his employees that he could not pay them higher wages. What we are going to look next is about the inference or meaning of that particular statement. Okay, so that is another important part and really interesting, and you can definitely attempt the questions as simple, and you can also have good mark in that. Okay, so don't ever miss that option as the finding the right inference or meaning of that particular statement, or it might be a proverb as well. Okay, so in previous year question paper, while we looking, there are 5 questions they have been asked from this part, that choose the correct meaning of that proverb or idea. Okay, so there will be a simple statement and as 4 options, and you want to find which option gives you the right answer or conveying the right inference about that particular word. Okay, so let us look the questions. First one is to leave someone in the lurch. Okay, so let us look to leave someone in the lurch. Okay, let us look what are the options given. A option, to come to compromise with someone, but it is not really that what means. Okay, and the second one, constant source of annoyance of someone. It is not also like it is stating about leave someone in the lurch. Okay, or in between, that is what the meaning. So and next one is to put someone at easy. Okay, do you think that is the right answer? No, right? Because it is also not really what it means or inference from the first statement. Lastly option, to desert someone in his difficulties. Okay, it's like that, to leave someone in lurch. So that is what the meaning of to desert someone in his difficulties. Okay, so that will be the right answer. 47, to beg the question. Okay, let us see, that is what the statement or idiom or phrase, what kind of option will be as the bestly or correct meaning will be provided. Option A, to refer to. Second, to take for granted. C, to raise objections. D, to be discussed. Which one do you think the most appropriate meaning which conveys to beg the question? Normally, while we are asking again for the same, normally we are expecting them to get granted, right? So the right option will be to take for granted. Okay, we are waiting to get approval or waiting to beg the question. Next question, to make clean breast of. To make clean breast of. Okay, option 1, to gain prominence, like being in the best in the whatever industry or something, or in a good reputation. B, to praise oneself. Okay, C, to confess without any reserve. D, to destroy before it blooms. Okay, which one do you think the rightly meaning of the to make clean breast of? The answer will be to confess without any reserve. To confess without any reserve. Okay, we should have to be like that is what the real meaning of that particular term. Okay, to make clean breast of. Okay, and to cry wolf. Okay, the options are to listen eagerly, to cry wolf. Okay, you want to like what it will be and how you can make it. To listen eagerly. Next one, to give false alarm. To turn pale, to keep off starvation. So what do you think the most appropriate meaning that convey to cry wolf? So we know that it is a false representation, right? So the option will be to give false alarm. So these are the options for like questions normally asked from the meanings, like in the sense of inference or finding the right meaning. There will be a difficulty will be there, but what do you want to convey that once you are reading the statement, make sure that you understand completely. Okay, and which statement is that you can eliminate also, you can think it about. Okay, so we are sure about there will be like options are not really matched with that, so you can eliminate that and then suit the right answer from the options. Okay, that also strategy strategy that you can evaluate in the inference or meaning. But importantly, you must have some basic knowledge about how does the proverbs, how the proverb word can be get like being meaningful, how we were like interpreting something. Okay, for that definitely you must have a wide knowledge in the reading, okay, or you must have the ability to read in very vague. So that will fetch you to give some ideas about what the real meaning of the particular thing. Okay, that will really also help you to find what it will be. Okay, you don't want to come by heart something completely for identifying word meaning or by sentence meaning. What you want to do that while you are referring something, definitely it will be stored in your mind, and that will be really helpful in the examination part. So be careful while choosing the option, and also be sure that the option is right. Okay guys, next we are going to look about the substitutions that are normally asked in the part. Okay, also there will be a substitution word as options in your question, and you want to choose the right option for that particular statement. That's what we were did in the proverbs or the meaning or inference. So substitutes also as simple as what we normally does with the comprehension or the synonyms or anonyms. Okay, substitution. Okay, so that is what normally happens with the substitution. While we looking into some examples or previous question, question is that murder of a brother, what we will call it. So murder of a brother, what is the term normally we will mean to refer the person? Options are patricide, definitely no, it is talking about some patriarchy. Regicide, no. Homicide also will not be. And another option is fratricide. Okay, so being aware that normally the person who is a murderer of a brother is called as fratricide. Okay, so option is D is the right answer. Next is a paper written in hand. That we don't want like any options to identify the answer, because it is known that it is manuscript. Okay, so options are like handicraft, manuscript, handwork, thesis. Normally a paper written by hand, termed as manuscript. Okay, and next question, be the embodiment of or perfect example of. Okay, be the embodiment or perfect example of. Let us see the options. Characterize, idealize, personify and signify. Which one do you think the right answer as the embodiment or perfect example of? It is a statement, right? What will be? It will be personify. Okay, personify, that is the perfect example of. Okay, and the next one is to walk with difficulty due to damage or stiff leg. Okay, well, no, it is actually statement or that kind of situation you normally comes as limp. Okay, normally limp being connected with ships, right? So if you read any story also, in like in our olden school times, we are able to identify limp will be the right answer. Okay, so limp that we can mean like define as to walk with difficulty due to damage or stiff leg. Okay. And another question asked in the previous year is that in a state of tension or anxiety or suspense, normally what it calls. Okay, in a state of tension or anxiety or even suspense. Okay, normally it is called off balance, depressed or diffused. Do you think any of this? Because all these kind of things are meaning to like kind of negativity. But last option, on tender hooks. Okay, that is something like we were in anxiety, we were under like being suspense, like under suspense, okay, under tension normally. So that will be the right answer, on tender hooks. So I'm repeating what is the meaning about substitution. Okay, there will be a statement or a single statement or sentence. Okay, we want to make it into what is the substitution is available in the options. Okay, it is really easy to identify once you have a wide reading. Okay, as I said in the limp, normally we learn that in our like in the school day story. Okay, so by the way you can identify some words or some like wordings. Okay, some sentences. So that is only it means, but so definitely you should have to attempt this question. Don't ever skip this question, because once you read, you will be identified that whether you know or not. Okay, so don't ever skip time to skip this question.